For business owners, there's oftentimes a ton of confusion around the difference between a W-2 employee and a 1099 contractor. So in this video, I'm just going to quickly break down the differences. Why should you listen to me? I own a CFO and accounting firm where we're currently serving over 30 active clients. I have my master's degree in accounting. We employ a ton of CPAs. We work with business owners every single day. So the difference, really quick. So hiring. So we have a W-2 employee. So when you hire someone that is W-2, you need to give them the form W-4. And that's how you collect all the necessary information. A W-2 employee is considered an employee of the company. And this means that the employer has control over the work that's performed. They set the schedule and they provide the necessary tools or equipment for them to do their job. They also might offer benefits such as health insurance, retirement plans, paid time off, and workers' comp. And a W-2 employee typically only works for one entity. And in this relationship, the employer is also matching the employee's Social Security and Medicare tax, as well as paying state and federal unemployment taxes. So really, right here, the employer is in control of the employee. That's the big thing. They're setting their schedule and they're providing the tools to do the job. And oftentimes, the relationship is one-to-one. The employee is working for one employer. And then, like I said, you would give them form W-4 when hiring a new W-2 employee. And with a contractor, when you get a new contractor, you would give them the form W-9. This is the contractor form, basically the contractor version of the W-4 where you're collecting the necessary information. A 1099 contractor is typically engaged by a company to perform specific services or projects. The contractor has more independence and control over how and when the work is performed. So they're working on their own time and they're using their own equipment. Those are like the big, huge differences between contractor and employee. And oftentimes they're working with multiple entities and working on multiple projects at once. And in this relationship, the contractor is responsible for paying the entire portion of their Social Security and Medicare taxes. So in that sense, it is advantageous from a business owner perspective to have the contractor because the contractor is paying all of the self-employment, Social Security, Medicare taxes versus the employer matching half of it. And if you are employing a US-based contractor that is not a corporation and you pay them over $600 in a given year, you must file a 1099 with the IRS. Otherwise, you could incur fees and whatnot. So Form W-4 is what you collect from a new employee. Form W-9 is what you collect from a new contractor. And best practice around this would be just like having in a Google Drive folder, just a folder that's W-4s and a folder that is W-9s. And then before you even pay a new employee or a new contractor, ideally you would have already sent them that W-4 or W-9, gotten it and collected it, and then you can just keep it in those Google Drive files. That's probably best practice. And then foreign contractors. So when you're hiring a foreign contractor, it actually doesn't matter how much you pay them throughout the year. You won't have to file a 1099 with the IRS for a foreign contractor. So that is very advantageous and nice and reduces the logistical intensity of hiring a contractor. So best practice is to send them form W-8BEN and have them fill it out. This is basically the foreign version of the form W-9. And this is just essentially your proof that you were paying a real person for services and not sending it to some offshore bank account to avoid taxes if you were to get audited. So it's really just your proof that you were paying a real person. So those are the differences between a W-2 employee and a 1099 contractor. The last thing I'll say is oftentimes employers think that it's their choice to choose whether the person is going to be an employee or contractor. And there is some truth to that in some situations, but overall, the relationship is what dictates if they're an employee or a contractor more than you just deciding as the business owner. Like I said, it really comes down to who has control over how and when the work is performed and who is using whose tools to perform the work. Those are the biggest differentiators. Hopefully that helped. If you need help with accounting, CFO, tax, anything like that, feel free to go to stacks.pro.com, check us out, or message me directly and have a chat. Thanks. Hope you learned something.